part of the hip hop world? I mean, because it's you read the allegations in these lawsuits, it is next level.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine that this could be going on with the world not knowing. There's always too many people involved. There's a lot of money, and you can spend a lot of money keeping people quiet if there's criminal activity. But it would be stunning to me if all of these allegations are true, and everybody put their head in the sand. It's just unimaginable to me, quite frankly, because everybody's looking for an angle. Everybody's looking to make a buck. You've got people making accusations every day trying to derive some financial benefit from it. So it is shocking that it could have gone on that long, if it ever went on at all, without somebody knowing. But I think we're going to find out. I don't know if we're going to find out in a week or a month or 6 months, but I think something's going to come of this. It's the rarest of occasions where they execute warrants at this level and don't end up doing something about it. So I think that, Diddy's team is going to be poised for, charges to be leveled at some level at some point in time. Just how quickly, it's hard to tell.
Well, again, you represent high-profile people. What would you be advising Diddy right now if you were representing him?
Yeah, I'd be telling him, hey, listen, you're innocent. You haven't done anything wrong, so act like you haven't done anything wrong. Live your life.
Right.
Keep your friends close, right? and keep your enemies away from you. Walk like you're innocent. Talk like you're innocent. Continue to do the things that you do every day. Try to get yourself invested in some good things if you aren't already. I'm sure he's got a lot of charities, et cetera, that he's working on. Show yourself to be who we say you are. I think in that way, you don't make a bad situation, if it is a bad situation, even worse. So I think he's got to put a good face on and to make sure he lets the world know, and ultimately his jury know, that he's innocent. And I would take an aggressive approach if I was them. I really would, because this is a case that's going to garner an enormous amount of publicity. You're talking to jurors with your actions. And so he wants to make those actions real and right. And I'm sure that'll happen. I'm sure he's in the best of hands. And they'll make sure that he's sending a message loud and clear to any particular jury pool that he's innocent of these charges, and he looks forward to defending them.
Now, let's say he's not charged yet, right? Would you? I'm not sure, but he's being attacked on the PR machine. I mean, everybody is saying things about him right now. And to give you an example, so 50 Cent came out, basically was trolling Diddy a lot. I know they have a feud. He took
not 50. They talking about 50.
Done. They don't come like that unless they got a case. They just got real defense in all the cribs. Damn, they got the kids in cuffs. Aubrey O'Day, who was part of Danity Kane, that was a music group that was
she been talking
by Diddy. She came out and said, "What you sow, you shall reap. I pray this emboldens all of us victims to finally speak on what we have endured." Would you advise Diddy to make a statement personally, whether it's an interview in a media outlet or a statement of his own on social media, to respond to this?
Only if it's controlled. I've seen disaster after disaster. We saw it in the Penn State case where people went on Dateline, the defendant went on Dateline and got interviewed. It would have to be controlled. I think it would have to be brief. I think once you go down that road, you run into a lot of trouble. Keep in mind that the story here is a better story if he did it than if he didn't. And I've tried to be on the other side of that in cases, and you can see it go both ways. In our case with Meek, obviously the media was rooting for him because it was right, it was just. In other cases I've had, they didn't care what the accused had to say. That's not the story for them. The story is better if it's that he did it. And so I think if he's going to make any kind of a statement at all, it'd be a prepared statement, it'd be a quick statement, that he not take questions, and it'd be something probably as perfectly crafted as the response you saw from his lawyer. And that would be the end of it. Taking interviews, I think, can be a disaster. One misstep during an interview, and it's a news cycle for a month that you'll never be able to overcome. So very limited in terms of a response, but perhaps a response that's measured and brief.
And let's say Diddy is hit with these massive sex trafficking related charges, and you were to represent him. How do you defend him at trial? Again, you've represented very high-profile people. Cosby is a name that comes up in a very high-profile case. How would you represent him?
Well, I think it depends on what the evidence is. If the evidence is allegations being made by individuals, you do it the old-fashioned way. You develop an investigation. You find out everything that they've ever said about him, any motives they would have to lie about him, and one by one you try and dissect the allegations. I don't think there's another way to do it. Sometimes you get real lucky in these cases. Somebody makes an allegation that you were somewhere at some place at some time and you weren't.
I think that's what Lil Rod was almost about to do, but now he amended his lawsuits, and his lawsuit seems more credible now. Because at first, Lil Rod's lawsuit looked like it was a piece of bullshit. They were incorrect about the woman being underage, Supposedly at some party. They were incorrect about it being Stevie J in that porn video. They made other accusations that later got easily debunked. That lawsuit looked like it was going good nowhere fast. I think it just got new legs after the Ethiopia declaration. Also, she's removed from the lawsuit, and there's much more new information that is also given more credence to what we're seeing now. Like, for example, Brendan Paul is sprinkled all over it, and I think they watched the news and seen Brendan Paul got locked up and be like, shit, we should put him in the lawsuit too. And it just looks more credible, but it might still not be credible. But again, at least for right now, in the eye of the public, the opinion of in the public court,
Brendan Paul,
court of public opinion,
that shit is crazy
it looks
to me.
more credible as we are looking at it
From
now.
college basketball player to Diddy puppet.
These other individuals, I'm sure, are being interviewed in the media. You want to get
Diddy,
every single
he was
soundbite
Diddy
they've
pool
ever
boy.
given, everything they've ever said about the case, and hold up those inconsistencies one
Sean
against the other.
Combs, the music
and
mogul,
more
recently
importantly-
inundated with a
Of urgency. I don't.
nice little kissing or dancing almost face to face with a purported underage girl. So many times in this latest lawsuit, his son is implicated in this alleged wrongdoing.
I believe, just like I do believe that charges for Diddy are forthcoming, I believe that charges for his sons most likely are as well. Now, given the raid and when it occurred, if they were in illegal possession of firearms based on California gun laws, then they could have probably taken them into custody right then and there for obvious reasons. I don't think that that's what they're going to do. I suspect that they were simply detained for the